and tell me again how much money Mom had left after Robert died. Well, enough to take care of myself. I never asked for anything when I was married. Robert always said I didn't need to work, so I never had an income of my own. But I did have assets in the house, the art Robert collected. There were also life insurance policies and pensions. Once all that came through, I had around $33 million. What? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what was coming. Victoria wanted that money. I wasn't born yesterday. I saw the greedy glint in her eyes. But I also knew my sweet, simple husband would never have handled his finances the way Victoria and Kevin did. I could hear Robert's voice in my head saying, "Don't worry, Meg, you'll be fine." So I did worry. I worried that I wouldn't be able to resist Victoria's emotional manipulation forever. That's when I decided to play a little game of my own. 3 days after Victoria had that conversation with Kevin and me, she called me up. "Mom, you really have to get out of that house. We've already made arrangements for you. Just pack your bags and come to us. We want to help." As Robert's widow, I suppose I could have dragged my feet, maybe tried to hold on to the house. But I'd rather start over fresh than spend another day listening to the guilt trip Victoria was on. And besides, I was curious to see where this charade would end. I packed 3 outfits and some photos of me and Robert, slipped in my wedding ring, and drove straight to Victoria and Kevin's house. This was a mansion fit for a small army of servants. As I entered, it struck me that I hadn't even been shown a bedroom. They'd put me up in a hotel, I realized, watching Victoria usher me into the drawing room. There were 2 guest rooms, actually. One was empty except for a lone guitar. The other had 2 twin beds and looked like it belonged to the children. Victoria explained that she and Kevin were, quote, trying to conceive again. And since their fertility window was, quote, closing rapidly, she suggested I take the kids' room. Wow, now I was homeless. But then something strange happened. 3 days later, Victoria called me, sounding unusually shaky. "Mom, I need your help. Please come over right away." I drove over and found her pacing frantically. "Where's Dad?" I asked, remembering how she'd criticized me for not knowing Robert's blood type. "He's gone," she whispered, collapsing into a chair. "Gone where?" I felt a chill creep up my spine. "He's taken his own life." My heart went out to her, but I also smelled a rat. I noticed a red stain on her sleeve, but it wasn't lipstick. It was nail polish, the same shade as the crimson streaks on Victoria's arms. I didn't need a magnifying glass to see the bruises. I reached out, my fingertips grazing her bare skin. "Did Kevin do this?" I asked gently. Victoria burst into tears and nodded. "He's gone, Mom. He killed himself because he couldn't bear living without me." I felt a surge of protectiveness toward my stupid, silly daughter. Yeah, okay, maybe I didn't have millions of dollars, but I still had something Victoria didn't have: anyone who loved her unconditionally, her own mother. I took Victoria to a lawyer, someone I'd known for years. I told him to make sure she got her inheritance and half of Kevin's assets. After all, she needed more therapy than any amount of money could buy. While the lawyer was dealing with Victoria, I went to the police. This time, I told them what I'd seen, what I'd known all along. By the end of that day, Victoria was facing attempted murder charges and a restraining order. In the end, the pawn got the castle. Or maybe the castle got the pawn. Who cares? All that matters is I'm still here, and so is my beautiful daughter.